What's up, guys? TJ Russ here. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to my review of Frank Ocean's new album, Blonde. Before I get into this review, I just want to apologize for any background noise that you may hear during this review. I decided to record a couple reviews while here at college, and given the case, you're probably going to hear some background noise. So I apologize for that in advance. However, you should hopefully still be able to get the gist of this review, and who knows, you might even hear some entertaining background noise in the process. So, without any further delay, let's get into this review of Frank Ocean's new album, Blonde. It has been 4 long years since Frank Ocean released his last LP, Channel Orange, which came out back in 2012. It's a great album. I don't think it deserves all the hype that it gets from a lot of people. However, when you put all the puzzle pieces together, it is a great R&B slash hip hop album overall, and I definitely understand why people enjoy the project the way they do. However, after saying that, I was genuinely interested to see where Frank Ocean would go with his next album. Would he do something out of the ordinary? Would he do something like To Pimp a Butterfly, like Kendrick Lamar did after Good Kid, Mad City? Or would Frank continue what he was doing on Channel Orange and feed his fans more of that material? I was genuinely interested to see what pathway Frank would go. And after listening to this album at least 10 to 15 times, I just went on a extended trip to New York. So I had a lot of time on the road to listen to this album nonstop without interruption. And after listening to this album a lot, I have come to the conclusion that Frank really went left field with this release, but in a good way. What Frank does for us with Blonde is he provides a very stripped down, simplistic R&B record where its main strengths are its vocals, its simplicity, and its lyrical content. Those are the main strengths of Blonde. After saying that, there are some flaws, though, that I think prevent this album from being as good as it could be. I wish that the production wasn't as simplistic as it is. I wish that Frank had done more with the production and with the instrumentals to provide an interesting complement to his vocal abilities. I felt that sometimes Frank's vocals were just left to hang with a very, 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 very simplistic instrumental that didn't provide much of a foundation for his vocals. And I think that was a problem on at least a couple tracks. The only track where it was like so bad I couldn't stand it was on Skyline 2, which is actually the only song on this thing I didn't enjoy, besides the Facebook story interlude, which I don't understand why Frank put that on this album. I heard that he put out an explanation as to why it was on it, or whoever the British guy is on Facebook story put out an explanation as to why this interlude is on the album, but it was completely unnecessary in my opinion. But yeah, I just wish that Frank had done more with this album. He let his fans wait for almost 4 years, and then he puts this thing out, which it's dope. It's an interesting listen, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that didn't wait 4 years to just hear something like this. If Frank wanted to go left field, I think that he should have at least put out another album like Channel Orange to satisfy his fans, and then do something out of the ordinary, do something that could be classic worthy, something that when people look back at Frank Ocean's music, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that album where he did something really interesting, where he went out of his comfort zone. And I think that he went outside of his comfort zone at the exact wrong time. Now, of course, this album, it sold a lot in its first week. It's not a flop. However, I think that a lot of Frank's fans are going to be slightly disappointed by this album. And I think that they're going to go through some Frank culture shock, if you want to put it that way, because they're not used to what they're listening to. Unlike someone like me who doesn't listen to Frank Ocean that much, was sort of lukewarm on Channel Orange, even though, as I always say, it was a good album, just not like a masterpiece, as people say. But I can listen to this thing and at least be like, damn, he actually went left field on this thing, and it's actually not that bad. Otherwise, this album's a pretty good R&B album. Its simplicity and its lyrical content and where Frank's vocals do shine, I think are its highlighting moments, and I think that that is what makes this a dope record. Do I think that it's a top 10 album in 2016? I'm not sure yet. We're gonna have to see how the rest of the year goes, but I think that it would definitely be in my top 20 or my top 25. And I'm sure as time goes on, just like how To Pimp a Butterfly grew on me, this album will probably grow on me as time goes on, and I'll be able to enjoy it and respect it more and more. So overall, this album is pretty dope, and I think if you're a Frank Ocean fan, if you listen to this thing from start to finish, I think that you'll really enjoy it. However, if you're not a Frank Ocean fan, well, actually, if you're not a Frank Ocean fan, I might still recommend this album to you because it has such a different dynamic from Channel Orange. And if you've never listened to Frank Ocean before, I would say check out Nostalgia Ultra, check out Channel Orange, and then check out this album and see what you think. So overall, those are my thoughts on Blonde. Be sure to read my description because I basically sum up everything there and name my favorite songs and my least favorite songs. By the way, I really enjoyed the interlude on this album with Andre 3000. It was really refreshing to hear Andre. And I thought he really went off on that album. Honestly, that was one of the highlights of this project, to be honest with you, was that 1 minute and 20-second long interlude with Andre. So, overall, I'd say check this album out. Overall, I give it a 7 to 8 out of 10, somewhere in that range. And of course, as time goes on, that score will probably go up as this album grows on me more and more. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on Blonde. Subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. Follow me on Instagram at TJ Rust Reviews. Hope you're having a good day. Peace.